Three, on course.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Tom Burkland. I've been running the RWB mountain track here at the BUB event for, I guess, 7 years now. I started out salt racing in 1969. We brought our first car here in 71, my family. And my background is primarily in the car business here in terms of land speed racing on the salt flats. I started out with a heavily modified 53 Studebaker. Blown Chrysler powered car, competition coupe that Dad's dream was to get in the 200 mile an hour club in that car, which we did finally in 1978 after 3 engines and a bunch of modifications and a big learning curve to get us up to speed on the whole land speed racing deal. I did the second car as a senior design project in my mechanical engineering curriculum at Montana State University. It was a 75 Datsun B210, also a competition coupe. We set that class record in, let's see, it was in 1985, August in Speed Week, back in the days of the 3-run records when you had to go down and qualify and then down and back the next morning. In fact, that record was just broken this year by the Blowfish, George Petit, and Danny Burrows was the driver. I set that record at 294 miles an hour, almost 295. And then we moved into some other engine development programs in that car that led up to the streamliner that we've run over the last few years. Developed the engine combinations in that chassis as a proven deal so we could work with minimum number of variables at one time. Mom eventually drove that car in 86, 7, and 8. I went as fast as 271, I think, in it. We qualified against numerous records. Because it was a development program, we were tuning and working with the engines and trying to improve the performance of the engines themselves. Never did back the records up in it. We started in on the streamliner project in 89, fall of 89. Fabrication and all of the acquisition of the parts and everything for it. It actually didn't make its first run out here until August of 96 at Speed Week. We had about a 4-year downtime in there of tire research and development. Ended up having to actually go build a set of tires custom for the car, which ended up with Mickey Thompson Tire and Rubber helping us out there, and then we did all the spin testing on that tire package, if actually on all 3 of the tires that they produce and market today. And that tire has been trouble-free on every run the car's made. So, and it's the other 2 sizes of tires have been used in numerous other land speed attempts. And in fact, probably one of the biggest benefits of that whole car program has been the development of the tires for the rest of the land speed racing community. A couple high points of the streamliner program. In 2000 at the Utah World of Speed. In September, we ran on a fuel system calibration run. We ran a 450 mile an hour exit speed with the car. And then in 2004, we set the BNI streamliner record, AA blown fuel streamliner, which is an open displacement class. Really kind of the unlimited land speed record for the American side of the business. Really the only rules is the car has to have 4 wheels and the power's got to go through the wheels to the ground. 417.02 in the BNI SCTA rulebook. But the real goal of the car was to end up with an FIA record, the international record for the wheel-driven cars, which we finally managed to accomplish in 2008 at the shootout here, where we back up against the freeway and run all the way out to the mud at Floating Mountain. and that record ended up at 15.896, I think it is. And you know, course conditions have a whole lot to do with how fast the car will run, and when you're up in those power and speed ranges, the surface quality is extremely critical, and the length of the track becomes a function of how fast you, or how much distance you can accelerate the car. And so yeah, it's been a real interesting project to get there. Along the way, ran into a whole number of challenges like everybody does in land speed racing. Failed a number of parachutes at very high speeds and took a number of rides out into the mud, and we ran over a partially submerged 55-gallon drum on a run in 2001, rolled the car over 12 and a quarter times, and got to take a ride in the ambulance to Salt Lake, and I can tell you how many screws are in the roof of the ambulance because I counted them 3 times on the way there. And I put everything back together, and we spent 3 years repairing all the bodywork and the chassis. Basically everything on the car except the drivetrain was either damaged or destroyed, so we rebuilt the thing, put it all back together, and then came back in 2004. So yeah, it's been a very interesting program. It's developed a lot of fairly new aerodynamic and mechanical technologies. The tail flap system on the car is a kind of a spin-off of what we ended up with on the back of Mike Hacketiff's motorcycle. The tire program, those are the tires that are on Mike's bike that Rocky has ridden now to the motorcycle land speed record. So there's a lot of commonality here across the cars and the bikes when you get up into those speed ranges, because obviously as a streamlined motorcycle, the air becomes a real big enemy, and we all fight it the same way. Luckily we've been able to help out a number of those teams. Done some work with Sam Wheeler on wheels and tires and some stress analysis and things for him. We've helped Dennis a little bit even with his project, and been able to participate with the rest of the motorcycle community out here in the camaraderie and friendship that you guys all have in coming out here and taking on the challenges at whatever level it is that you choose to do that. And it's fun to participate and help you do that, and to see you succeed at what you're doing. And it's been a real interesting thing. We started out in the beginning of this deal. It was a kind of a crew trade between part of our team and Dennis Manning to be able to come out and help do course preparation for the BUB event the first year we were here. It turned out the course was not good enough for us to run on, so our crew was still available when we got to the point of actually running the BUB motorcycle event. So a bunch of us that were interested in the sport in general came down and kind of helped put it together, and along with Rex, we've been able to put together an operating procedure here that generates a relatively safe way of trying to operate 2 tracks and 4 starting lines all in one very small space, and hopefully keep any of the bike guys from getting in each other's way and getting hurt doing it. So it's been relatively successful, and there's been a lot of records, both AMA and FIM, set as a result of it. So we've enjoyed associating with you and look forward to being able to do it more in the future.
Quarter-mile speed on Burkland, 311.663. First mile, 331.114. Last mile, 415.616.
Well, I got a phone call a few years ago, said Bonneville is where you need to be. So I packed it up and I headed west just to see what there was to see. By the speed bug I got bit, now I just can't quit, I got the Salt Flats fever. Screaming streamliners down to motor scooters and every motorcycle in between. 5 full days of 2-wheel land speed racing, well, that's what there was to be seen. By the speed bug I got bit, now I just can't quit. I got the Salt Flats fever. Alcohol, race gas, and a turbocharger help some motorcycles down the line. After a week of watching all these bikes, I'm here to say the BUB's event is fine, fine, fine. Well, I don't know if I can wait a year. Come next September, I hope to be back here, watching all the bikes and meeting all the folks, hanging down at the bar and hearing some lousy jokes. By the speed bug I got bit, now I just can't quit. I got the Salt Flats fever. They're on course, they're past the 3. They're getting faster, just look and see. Tucked down low and riding with a smile, screaming on through that famous measured mile. Well, by the speed bug I got bit, now I just can't quit. I got the Salt Flats fever right here at